My goal from this web class is the only way for you to exponentially grow, you need to understand this, is that if you want to grow your wealth, it's through multiple streams of income. And I'm the author of that book, actually. The only way that you're going to do this is to fundamentally change the way you think about money. And the best way to get started is with small real estate properties. And we're going to cover all three of these subjects for you tonight. I've written almost 20 different books with co-authors throughout my entire career. Over 5 million books have been sold all around the world in all kinds of different languages. I've spoken in South Africa, in Tokyo, in Singapore, all over the world with very famous people. But you know, although I kind of brag about it, the bottom line is my story, the way I got started, is really not very impressive. I was unemployable. And I say it that way because I graduated with my college degree and I wanted to work like my father had worked at a job for his entire life. And I thought, well, I'll just go get a job. And then on the side, I'll invest. So I sent my letter out to 30 of the major corporations in the world: General Foods, General Electric, General Motors, General Mills, and generally everybody I could think of. And these 30 letters came back one after another, and all 30 of them told me, no, you are rejected. And I was devastated. And I made a decision at that point, because I'd read some books. I'd read some books on financial independence, Think and Grow Rich, and I'd read a book on real estate investing. And I thought to myself, you know what? I really don't want a job. What I really want to do is to become wealthy. That's my dream. So I started out with $10,000 in debt and had no job, no experience, no credit, no assets, and $1,000 to my name that my dad had given me for a graduation present. And there I was, off to create my fortune. And I bought my first property and sold it within 60 days with no cash, no credit, no job, and $1,000. And I put $6,000 cash in my pocket. I bought this house, just a simple, basic little house, did a little fix up on it, and I immediately sold it and made $6,000. And I parlayed that money into $1 million net worth within the next 36 months. I bought apartments and properties and dozens of homes all over my city, and I became a financially independent entrepreneur. So I'm speaking from my personal experience when I share these three secrets with you, secrets that you will use to become wealthy. Number one, you can become an investor and create wealth, even if you have no skills and experience. And I'm speaking from experience, and I've seen it happen in thousands of other people in my career. Secret two, it doesn't matter how much or how little you have right now in terms of money or credit or assets, you can still become wealthy. And then finally, it can happen in a short period of time. I say relatively short period of time because, you know, people do it in months, they do it in years, they do it in decades. But the bottom line is you can do it in a relatively short period of time. And imagine waking up in your new life in a short period of time from now, your debt's paid, multiple streams of income flowing into your life, your future bright. How would that feel? Well, I know how it felt for me when I woke up as a millionaire, and it was hard. Those 36 months were really, really hard. And at the end of that process, I had a big aha. And I realized that everything I'd been taught about money was a bunch of lies. Because think about it, you don't go to any class in school about financial stuff. Your teachers are all employees, and they usually don't want or don't even believe that it's possible for a person to be independent. Entrepreneurs think that way, but we're usually trained in school by employees. And so they were teaching me all kinds of bad things about money, or what I call them these money lies. And frankly, the secret is you can become a successful investor even if you have no skills or experience. And nobody taught me that. I didn't learn that in any kind of school. So it wasn't my fault that I graduated from the university and I bought into the dream of everybody supposedly go gets a job and then they retire and then they do what they want to do. Well, the big lie is that you have to be smart to make money or be a genius like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or my friend Robert Kiyosaki. But, you know, I graduated in the 1/3 of my class that made the top 2/3 possible. I mean, I literally was upon the handful of the people in my class that couldn't get a job. So I read a few books, like I mentioned earlier, that I thought were kind of exciting. Think and Grow Rich and how I turned $1,000 into $5 million in real estate in my spare time. But you know what? You want to know my secret? When I read those books, I had so many questions that I didn't know what to do. How do you start, you know? So my secret, if I can tell you the truth, is in my church organization, there was a multi-millionaire. His name was Paul. And Paul was very wealthy, but he was a nice guy, living in a nice home. And I went to Paul and I said, Paul, I can't find a job. And I really just decided I want to be like you. I want to be a multi-millionaire. And Paul showed me the fast track. I mentored with him for a few months. It's because of him that I bought that first property. He guided me through my walls of fear into that first little duplex that I bought. And then I immediately sold it. I made an immediate profit, and I parlayed that into a $1 million net worth. And I got to credit Paul because I just had a few stupid questions I needed to have answered. And as soon as I knew and got my dreams were corroborated, where he said, yeah, Robert, you can do that. Then it was kind of like he unleashed me, and I just went for it, you know, big time. Then I wrote a book, or at least I wanted to write a book about it, and I wanted to be a #1 New York Times bestseller. It was always a dream of mine. And what I did is I found a #1 New York Times bestselling author living in my city. She'd been on Johnny Carson. She'd had a huge #1 New York Times bestseller. And I went to her and I said, Diane, I want to be like you. And she taught me things I could not have learned from reading a book. You know, that's what a mentor does for you. They just tell you the real stuff. And what she said is, well, if you want a #1 New York Times bestseller, you're going to do it the secret way, the kind of like the way that nobody does it. You're going to go to the convention where all the publishers are, and I'll introduce you to a few. And you're going to show your proposal, and you know it's like shooting fish in a barrel because these publishers they're looking for new authors. And you get to meet with the presidents and the marketing directors. He says, nobody knows that. They always tell you to send your proposal through an agent, and the agent does all that work for you. Bottom line was, I went to the convention. Diane went with me. She guided me to meet the right people. She told me what to say to get my first book deal. And I got a fabulous book published. Nothing Down became a #1 New York Times bestseller as a result of what she taught me. So my secret is always the same. When I want to do something, I go find somebody who's the best at it. When I wanted to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, I found a man who has climbed Mount Everest twice. And he said, I'll take you to the top of Kilimanjaro. And so we went to Kilimanjaro. And here's Werner. And Werner, that's Everest behind him. He's climbed it twice. In fact, he's the only man and the oldest man to climb all the 7 highest peaks in the 7 continents of the world. He is world class. And he kept telling me, you can do it, as he walked with me all the way to the top of Kilimanjaro. Here is he and me walking step by step. Here we are at the top of Kilimanjaro, of the people that climbed there. I was the last person to reach the top of Kilimanjaro that day. It was tough. But I was so proud of what I accomplished. And I'm going to tell you, there's no way I could have done that by myself. No way. Yeah, Werner just showed me the way. And so the bottom line I'm trying to teach you is in my career, when I want to learn how to make money on the internet, I go to the best guy on the internet. When I want to learn how to make money on in whatever I want to choose, and in my career, I've guided myself thousands of students to the top of the millionaire mountain, not to the top of the money mountain, the top of the millionaire mountain. I've taught millions and millions of students, but have incredible success stories. So I'm going to share with you tonight, or today, whichever time it is you're listening to this. And now it's your turn. And wouldn't that feel great to know you could do it? Here's an email I got just a few weeks ago. Tony says to me, I want to express sincere gratitude for your multiple streams of income training program. Your guidance was great. We have grown to 35 units today. It's 35 properties he owns while building several multi-million-dollar businesses along the way. I felt it was quite overdue. Share my gratitude. So thanks. With gratitude, Tony B. I get letters like that, almost every day in my email. So this is the truth. The truth is you can become wealthy, even starting with no skills, no experience. I can show you the fast track, just like my mentor Paul showed me. Now, the secret number 2 is it doesn't matter how much money you start with. You can start with a lot. If you got a lot, great. Well, I'm happy for you. That's make it even faster. But if you have zero, you can't let the lies stop you, because the big lie out there is it takes money to make money. Have you ever heard your parents say that? Money doesn't grow on trees. It takes money to make money. And the assumption there is if you don't have money, you can't do it. Well, that's a lie, because I wrote the book on it. It's called Nothing Down, Dynamic New Wealth Strategies in Real Estate. And to prove it, I said, send me to any city. Take away my wallet, give me $100 for living expenses, and in 72 hours, I'll buy an excellent property using none of my own money. And the LA Times called me on the phone and they said, we've seen your ads on this and we don't believe it's true. And we challenge you. We're going to take you to a city. We're going to drop you in that city. And they did. They took me to San Francisco. Here's the LA Times article that appeared. Front page financial section. Picture of me and the property I bought. Buying home without cash, boastful investor accepts time challenge and wins. And I did, because I bought 6 properties in 57 hours, and it gave the reporter $20 back in change. Yes, not only could I do it, but anybody can do this. And the problem was when I went into the media and I said, well, look what I did. I did this challenge. And they would say to me, well, maybe there's something special about you, but an ordinary person couldn't do it. And I said, send me to any unemployment line. Let me select someone who's broke, out of work, and discouraged. In 2 days' time, I'll teach them the secrets of wealth. And in 90 days, they'll be back on their feet with $5,000 cash in the bank. Never to set foot in an unemployment line again. I went to the unemployment lines of St. Louis, Missouri. Why? Because on the license plates of most of the cars in St. Louis, it says the show me state. Don't tell me, show me. So I went to St. Louis. I handed out flyers, thousands of them, all over St. Louis in the unemployment line offices. And guess what happened? They went and they picked the form that I sent them. They read it. And many of them showed up at this meeting I held the very next day. Here's a guy who received the form from me. And he said, I can't come to this meeting tomorrow because I'm going to lose my place here in the unemployment line. And I said, well, you never can tell when this opportunity might come again. I might come back to the unemployment list. He says, you're right. Next time I'll be ready. Well, guess what? I've never been back there, and I never will go back there. When the opportunity comes to you, usually it comes when you're not ready. It comes when you don't have the money. It comes when you don't have time, when you're too busy, when you don't believe it's possible, when somebody around you is detracting and saying you can't do it. Opportunity always comes at the most inopportune time. And yet somebody who makes it happen, they just seize it. And even though it's not opportune, they just go for it. And 3 people selected, that I selected, did it. 3 people, unemployed, no money, no job, no cash, no assets, nothing. And I taught them what to do, how to find little small real estate investments, and how to find highly motivated sellers. So the truth is this: you can become wealthy as these 3 did. These three people bought and sold a property in 90 days. They made $5,000 cash, starting with absolutely nothing, no experience, no job, just like I did, because I wanted to prove that anybody can do this. I wanted to prove that wealth is not money. Wealth is your internal drive. Wealth is your desire. Wealth is your dream. Wealth is your passion. Wealth is whatever internally you have that moves you, that drives you. And then if you have that, then you can acquire everything else. You can acquire the knowledge. You can acquire the money. You can acquire the deals that are out there. If you have the financial resources, it's just faster. But if you don't, hey, you can start from right where you are. I've proven it over and over and over again. And the secret three that I want to teach you today is you can become wealthy in a relatively short period of time. People use the word get rich quick, and it's a negative way of talking about money, because they say, well, you know, it's not possible for you to do that. And I have so many people who get really grumpy when I talk about the fact that it's possible to make it more quickly than people might imagine. Because employees, they think about money in a totally different way. For them, they want to make small, slow money, and their retirement age is 50 years from now. And therefore, they put a little bit of money aside every single month, and they invest it in the stock market or a mutual fund. And 50 years from now, usually what happens is the money isn't there. They spend it on some emergency, and now they're on Social Security, and they're done. And an entrepreneur thinks differently. They want to make big, fast money. And I don't mean quick, like it doesn't have to be done in a couple of days, but 5 years from now is a very realistic time frame for you. I've seen it happen hundreds and hundreds of times. So my goal from this web class, as I talked about earlier, is the way you do this is to have multiple streams of income. So 5 years from now, I want you to have streams of income from real estate, from the stock market, from the internet, from businesses that you own in multiple ways. All multimillionaires have multiple streams of income. They just do. And I want to teach you that right from the very beginning. And not only do they have multiple streams of income, but they have the special kind of streams of income that I'm going to share with you in a minute. Here's my book, Multiple Streams of Income, How to Generate a Lifetime of Unlimited Wealth. This book has sold almost 1 million copies around the world. And I tell you, wherever I go, whether it's Kazakhstan or Riga, Latvia, or Russia, or whether I go to Asia and Japan and China and Taiwan or Australia, wherever I go, people come up to me and they tell me they did it. And they tell me how they did it, whether they made it in real estate. And they're what I call 4 money mountains, where streams of income flow into your lake of unlimited prosperity. Real estate is one of those mountains. Information marketing is another mountain. The internet marketing is another mountain, and small business is another mountain. I myself have streams of income from all 4 of these sources. Dozens of streams of income from different ways of doing all 4 of these real estate mountains, different streams flowing off these money mountains. And when I talk about this to the media, they're always saying, well, you don't think it's possible for you to have taught somebody how to be a millionaire? So Fox challenged me. Neil Cavuto, #1 business talk show, challenged me to bring 101 of my millionaires on his show. And it was a spectacular show. Here we have 101 millionaires. Here is one gal who made it. It took her 20 years, actually. 20 years she did what I asked her to do in the book, Creating Wealth. And she bought one piece of real estate every year. She continued to work. At the end of 20 years, she was a millionaire. She had streams of income from 20 separate different properties. And she was one of the millionaires who came on that television with me that day. This is Nikki. Nikki made her first million in real estate, and then she went to the second money mountain. She wanted to make some money on the internet. And she said, Robert, show me how to do it. I have no experience. I have no idea. I have no database. What do I do? And here she is. She had a dream. She wanted to give the first money she made from making money on the internet. I showed her she just had to push a button, send a message out to a database on the internet, and she could make money. She said, however much money I make the first time I push the button, I want to give it all to this orphanage, because it was her dream to fund this orphanage. She just had a soft spot in her heart about orphans. So here she's on stage with me. We're in San Francisco, and she's telling me the story of an email that she sent me. Here is the email. She said, just a quick note to say, this was actually sent to my assistant, Lisa. And she said, I inked the deal for $137,392.66 profit in 45 days. And our goal now is to donate enough money each month so that one family can adopt one child by our efforts. And once again, how can I thank Robert Allen enough for his contribution to my little pea brain? Well, Nikki, my pea brain is the same thing you did. Once you have a drive like she did, you accomplish major things. This gal right here is blind, as you can tell. She had a terrible accident, and she was so despondent because she had a small family. She was pregnant at the time she had her car accident. She lost the baby, and the doctor gave her medicine that was the wrong medicine. And they gave her the medicine that blinded her in the hospital, recuperating from this terrible accident. And she was so discouraged, she wanted to kill herself. And her friends came to her and he said to her, you've got to go to this seminar where Robert's teaching. Just listen to him. Maybe something he'll say might inspire you. And she did. And I'll never forget her sitting on the side of an event I taught in Orlando. And she came up to me and she said, I have hope again, Bob. And she started to teach her children the system that I taught her. And the kids would go look for the real estate, and then she would write the offers. And her and her husband, Bob, are giving me a hug. And they've made so much money over the years. Recently, they bought 5 properties. They have positive cash flow of $3,532 from these 5 properties they bought recently. And she says, I'm so grateful for the knowledge we gleaned from you. It's put us in the position to do what we want when we want. You know what she does? She goes into prisons. And she teaches these ladies who are in prison, not only in physically, but in their minds. They are prisoners of their negative thinking. And she teaches them how her, as a blind woman, has been able to make $1 million doing this. And she teaches them how, when they get out of prison, how they never come back. And her recidivism rate, that means the people who come back to prison, and usually it's like 80% of the people who get out and back. The people who take her course, her recidivism rate is 0. It's probably the lowest in the entire United States. And this is her passion. She teaches people how to do what she has done. And I love that. This gal right here, her and her husband lost their jobs in January of one year, and they were devastated. And they read my book and came to one of my seminars, and they said, you know, Robert, we're just going to do what you tell us to do. And her and her incredible husband became millionaires in Las Vegas in 4 months and 9 days. They just blasted. And the deals they did were actually the ones that I used when I wrote The 1 Minute Millionaire, which is a story and a system book. On the left-hand side are the systems of how you make money. And the right-hand side is the story of a woman who loses her husband and has to make $1 million in 90 days to save her children. Well, it's a fictional tale, but the real examples of what this fictional person does were real examples of what Karen Nelson Bell and her husband did. And they made $1 million in 4 months and 9 days. Karen, I asked, because her story is so remarkable, I asked her to be the co-author of a book called Nothing Down for Women. And in the chapter, the very first chapter, the first chapter is called How Losing My Job Turned Me into a Million, from Karen, a millionaire, from Karen Nelson Bell. So yeah, you can do it fairly quickly. Here's $1 million bill. It's not a real $1 million bill, but it's just something to remind you. I want you to imagine yourself, you know, earning a real million for yourself. How will that feel? And I want to show you how you can start where you are with what you have, and you can become financially free, maybe even a millionaire in 12 to 24 months from today. Would you like that? Well, if you take 5 years, it's okay. It certainly won't be like most ordinary people, 50 years. And if you follow my plan, the money you could start flowing into your life in 90 days or less from today. So mark your calendar. 90 days from today, money's going to be flowing into your life. Your someday, thing you've always been wondering about, when is my someday? Well, your someday is now. Oh, does that sound good to you? You know, I've done these crazy challenges throughout my life, where I did the Los Angeles Times Challenge and the St. Louis Challenge. We did a challenge called Rich in 6 weeks. And we invited people. There were about 200 people in the room, and we said, the winner goes to Tahiti with me. Because I was a missionary in Tahiti when I was 19 years old, and I learned how to speak Tahitian and French, and I said, I love this island. I've taken my family there several times, and I said, the winner, I'm going to pay your way to Tahiti. So the winner, there were 2 winners actually. This winner and his wife made $150,000 in 6 weeks from their real estate investing. And this gal right here, Kathy, she made $10,000 in cash in 18 days. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but I'm going back to the picture of Kathy as we're going to this separate island just off of Bora Bora. We're going to have dinner that night together. And this is Kathy, and this is her husband, and this is the other winner. And you'll notice that her eyes look a little strange because she's blind. She can't see. She sat in that room with all those other 200 people, and she said to herself, I'm going to prove that my disability is not going to stop me. And she launched a website in 18 days and generated $10,000 in cash flowing into her life. Kathy's blind, and as we went on a jet ski with Kathy around the island of Bora Bora, she drove. I was hanging on for dear life behind her, whispering to her, turn right, turn left. She was just having the time of her life. I want you to realize that once you generate money flowing into your life like that, it just changes everything for you. You start to see the world in a totally different way. You start to see opportunities all around you, even if you're blind. You can imagine them. So suppose you chose real estate as your first income stream, like the winner who won $150,000. I've forgotten his name. Forgive me for forgetting his name. But the bottom line was, he makes big time money in real estate. He was an airline pilot, and he said, I need a retirement. So how can I do it? I taught him 3 fundamental things. Real estate's not that complicated. You don't have to be a genius. You just have to learn how to find good deals, how to fund those deals when you find them. And then the way I call it, I say you have to farm them. That means your real estate is a money tree, and you're going to farm it. You're going to either improve it immediately and turn around and sell it quickly. They call that flipping these days. You're going to flip it, and you're going to make quick cash. Or you're going to farm it in a different way. You're going to put a tenant in there, and you're going to generate a cash flow from it over a period of years. And if you hold on to it long enough, like that gal who bought those 20 properties, eventually the properties are free and clear. And when they're free and clear, there's no mortgage payment. And therefore, all the rent comes to you like it's like an oil well in your backyard. And therefore, you farm it. It takes a while to generate that kind of those kinds of streams of income. What do I want you to find? You're going to find a very rare thing in any market at any time. I call them don't wanters, or highly motivated sellers. About 1 to 3% of all the sellers in any market are highly motivated sellers. And realtors, they're going to tell you lies. I mean, I was a realtor for 3 years, so I know what I'm talking about here. They're looking for a highly qualified client. They want somebody with cash and credit and collateral and cash flow, a job, strong in every way. And so when you come up and say to them, you want to buy property with nothing down, they're going to tell you that's not possible. What they're really saying is they don't want to be your realtor. But 1 to 3% of all the properties in every marketplace, even the ones listed with realtors, are highly motivated. And they're the kind of people who are desperate to get rid of their real estate, and they don't care about your qualifications. This is a training that I taught in Asia. This is Jerome, and we're having fun. I'm right there in the center, and Jerome writes me this letter about a training that he attended in Singapore. This training that I was at with him here is in Malaysia, and therefore he hands me there this letter. He says, I attended your program about 7 years ago in Singapore, and I was bankrupt. Today I own 7 businesses, more than 30 properties, passive income of 100,000 ringgit a month. That's Malaysian money. And I make a million ringgit every 3 months. Well, how much money is that? A ringgit is about 25 cents. So he makes about $25,000 a month from passive income, and $250,000 every 3 months. I want to thank you for all the knowledge that you shared during your program. God bless Jerome. Even if you're bankrupt, you can do this. He even writes a book. It's called From Bankruptcy to Multi-Millions in 7 Years. He teaches seminars in Malaysia. He makes serious money. You see, I taught him how to make 2 streams of income. First, from real estate, and then from information marketing. And he makes millions doing this. And here's he teaching a class of the people in Singapore. Now, suppose you choose that the internet is your first income stream. Some people like the internet. They love it. And there are 3 skills I need to teach you. First, how do you generate traffic to a website you create? Then how do you build a list of people who come there and they leave their name and address? And then how do you turn those people on that list into customers? It doesn't seem that difficult, but it takes quite a little science to pull it together. But when you do, you push a button to the list you have and you make serious money. Here is Jesse, who writes me this letter. He says, I was a protege and I was a broke personal trainer making $20,000 a year, looking to fulfill a dream, in debt up to my eyeballs. Today I'm making $200,000 a month. Do you know why he's doing that? Because I said to Jesse, you're selling the wrong thing. Don't sell your time. Don't sell your time where you go from house to house to house and make $20,000 a year. That's the employee way, or the way of a small business owner who has to do all the work by themselves. You have to have a team, and then you have to learn how to market. And I taught him how to market information. Here he is today, still making millions of dollars in the exact same website, losethebackpain.com. Serious money. So there are no excuses here. Whether you're broke or unemployed or inexperienced or even blind, if you want it, you can achieve it, period. End of story. Or maybe what I should say is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your new story, the story of you living financially independent. Haven't you always wanted to be that way? I want you to imagine a brighter future, because that is what's waiting for you. It's calling to you. It's pulling you. I don't know where you are right now. Maybe the pain of not having enough money is pushing you to do something. Maybe that's why you're here tonight. I want both those things to be influencing you right now. I want the pain of what it feels like to have money pressures, to have no money and no ability to do what you want. I want that pain to get bigger and bigger and bigger, so it pushes you to do something. And then I want the pull of your dreams to be so strong, for you waking up in the dream of the dream lifestyle of what you've always wanted, in the home of your dreams, having streams of income pouring into your life, no money pressures, doing what you want to do. It's really important for you to really make a decision about this and to make a decision to act. What I tried to teach you today is that the lies around you, and there are many more than these three, by the way. There are a lot of lies about money. Big lie number one, that you have to be a genius to do this, and it takes courage, yes. It takes a mentor, and it takes a system. Big lie number two is it takes money to make money, and you know as well as I do from the stories I've just shown you. It takes nothing down techniques. It takes systems that you use to make money flow into your life. And the big lie number three is it takes a lifetime to create wealth. And I've tried to prove it to you over and over again today. You can make big, fast money. And do you think that this would work for you? Do you have any doubts that this might be working for you? Well, I want you to realize, I want you to be clear that if you're on this call here now with me, I want you to listen to the strength of my voice. I know you can pull this off. I know it, because I've seen it happen thousands and thousands of times in countries all over the world. So I want to ask you a simple question. Knowing what you know now, knowing my confidence in you, if you believe that, do you feel more comfortable imagining a successful financial future for you and yours? I want you to imagine what that feels like. Were you happy investing this time with me? I hope so. I hope it was motivating and inspiring to you. Do you realize that this could be the shortcut, the fast track to everything you've ever wanted? You might have struggled up to this point, but that struggle is over. Can you see yourself using what I showed you today to help you grow multiple streams of income? Even if you use just a tiny fraction of what I showed you, would you say that our time was well spent? Even if you bought one piece of real estate from the things I learned here, one website that you launched, would you like to spend even more time together? You know, going even deeper and further on how to build your wealth faster and safer. Because that's what I want to do. That's my dream in life. This is my passion in life, is to work with people and to create success stories. It gives me incredible pleasure to do that. So I had several choices. The choice number one is I can share what I've shared right now thus far, and we could part ways. I'll never talk to you again if that's the choice I make. And then I hope that on your own, you can make a go of it and maybe be successful. By yourself, you could do this. You could. It would just be slower, and I can guarantee you there'd be more failure, and it would be more lonely. I didn't choose that path for myself. I read a lot of books, yes, and I went to some seminars too. But who really put me over the top was Paul, was my mentor. Therefore, I know that the best choice for me to do that with you is I could take a more active role and responsibility for your success, to create an ongoing, growing, and mutually rewarding relationship between you and I, one where I could do everything that I could to make your success certain. And I chose the second option. And when you see what I have in store for you, you'll be glad that I did. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to, and I hope you give me permission to do this. I'm so excited about this. A brand new program I've created just for you called Wealth Legends. All legends have systems. They have systems for creating multiple streams of income. When you put those into systems and you follow the simple systems, it's the fastest, safest way to wealth and financial freedom. It's a step-by-step program that I've designed, brand new, just for you, so you can quickly leave behind the world of financial stress and lack and enter the world of abundance, financial freedom, and the lifestyle of your dreams. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with whomever you want, as long as you want, without worrying about money for the rest of your life. That's my plan for you. Does that sound good to you? Is that what you'd love to have? Well, these Wealth Legend programs, I put together 5 different programs that are really powerful. Number one is the millionaire mindset, because believe it or not, you need to be deprogrammed. And most people in life, the reason they end up with absolutely nothing is because they've been fed a packet of lies their entire life. The foundation of your wealth skyscraper that you're going to be building with me is deeper. The deeper your foundation and your mindset, the stronger and the higher your skyscraper goes. This mindset stuff is powerful. The imaginations you need to have. You need to make your dreams more real than your fears. And I can guarantee you, your fears are strong. We all have strong fears. We all have a comfort zone we find difficult to get out of. I'm going to take you outside your comfort zone. I want you to imagine the lifestyle that you really want, and to imagine that in a way you feel it, to make it more real than the imaginations you have about fear. Because fear is just an imagination. And these habits are hard to change because you've got a lifetime of thinking and acting a certain way. As your coach and mentor, my job is to show you how to update your thinking. And I call this process the millionaire mind shifts. These mind shifts are powerful. Do you want to break free of self-doubt and fear and procrastination? You're going to have to, or you're going to stay stuck where you are. I want you to get out and move forward. And when you make these fundamental shifts in your mindset, you'll be able to break free of your limiting beliefs and see new possibilities. Now, this book you're going to receive is called The 4 Maps of Happy, Successful People. And in it, I've condensed the mind shift lessons of my entire life into 4 fundamental lessons. And these 4 fundamental lessons, when you learn them and do them, and actually I'm going to have you draw them. That's why they're called maps. And you draw these little maps on a daily basis. It changes your life. The second part of the program is 3 powerful money-making ventures I'm going to be sharing with you. The rising levels of your wealth skyscraper are made up by different types of investment strategies and ventures, I call them. You're going to be doing multiple streams of income. You start with one floor and you're going to build it out. You might have several floors of real estate, several floors of investment properties, several floors of businesses you own. As I say, Sir Richard Branson, he has 400 businesses that he owns with the name Virgin attached to them. He has 400 floors to his skyscraper. That's why he's a billionaire today. I wanted to teach you powerful real estate ventures, how to earn $100,000 a year at minimum in real estate. I want to teach you powerful internet ventures, clicking your way to wealth, as I do. And I want to show you powerful entrepreneur ventures, businesses you can launch, how to turn your $1 million idea into cash. And the third piece of the Wealth Legends program, besides the millionaire mindset piece and the 3 powerful money-making ventures, is the perpetuation of wealth strategy. You know, I teach students, and I've had people come up to me, and it's a sad story. They'll say, Robert, I own 50 properties and I lost them all. And I say, why did you lose them? He said, I just spent too much money. I didn't know how to manage my money. And the bottom line is I said, let's start again. Let's teach you the foundation principles of how you manage your money. And I want you to leave this as a legacy for yourself. I want you to leave not only to your family, your friends, or the charities and the churches and the causes that are important to you. I want you to leave great wealth. I want you to live great wealth and leave great wealth and leaving a legacy. When you put in these 5 programs that I've designed for you in the Wealth Legends program, they all have they all have a tuition attached to them. Very valuable, incredibly powerful programs. In this addition, if you add all the value of all the programs that I teach you, it adds up to almost $5,000 in value for each of the programs I teach. But I'm going to do something different with you because this is a pilot program. This is a brand new program, and I want to make sure it works. And therefore, I want you to select which of these programs you would love to invest in. Yeah, there's going to be a small investment. But let's suppose it's real estate. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's the internet or maybe it's entrepreneur ventures. Just circle with your finger the one you would really want, the one you really want to go first on. And select it. I'll just pick for you. I think real estate is a great way to start, but hey, you can do anything. But suppose it's real estate and you say, that's the one I want. Then I'm going to give you a scholarship. I want to give you a scholarship for the mindset modules. I'm going to give you a scholarship for the real estate venture, for the internet venture, sorry. I'm going to give you a scholarship for the entrepreneurship ventures. And then I want to show you how to perpetuate it, how to hang on to it, and then how to make it grow and leave it in the perpetuation strategies. And the total price for the entire Wealth Legends program is only $997. And it's worth many, many more times that. But I'm going to give you an amazing bonus. I want to give you some bonuses of people that I've interviewed. I call them the greats, the traits of the greats. Because all greats have traits. And these traits are what make them great. And I want you to download these interviews. I want you to listen to them as you listen to what they teach you about how they achieve great success in all kinds of areas. You're going to love these interviews. The value of that program itself is $199. There's a special program where I teach you many hours on the real estate mindset alone, how you change that. That in itself is worth $89. The 4 Maps audio program, and actually it's a video program, where I actually coach you in exactly how to add these programs to your life so you can organize your life. So you'll do a few simple things every day to radically change the way you look at the future. And the Better Life Launch Ritual course is what do you do every day to prepare yourself to be great? You know, all greats have rituals, and I will teach you how to have a powerful ritual. The value of all these courses is $386. I want you to have all of these as my gift for free. If you invest a small amount of money to get yourself started, these are the bonuses. But I want you to realize that information is not enough. If you want to know information about how to create wealth, then go Google it. And you know what, as well as I do. You'll end up with 500,000 links you can click on. And when you go to those links, you're more confused than when you started. Information is not enough. It has to be systematized. It has to be doled out to you in a pattern where you get it. It requires something extra. And I call that a secret sauce. And the secret sauce, my secret sauce, I'll tell you what it is. I am the secret sauce. I'm going to be your life coach, your mentor. I'm going to coach you on exactly what to do. My time is worth $5,000 per hour. People pay me $25,000 to $40,000 per day for a day of my consulting. The reason I'm willing to do this with you is because this is a pilot program that I've decided this is going to work. And therefore, I need some people. I need you and I to work together in this pilot program. So we're going to spend 6 90-minute live sessions with me. I'm going to record those. And other people in the future will listen to the recorded version. But you and I be live, you'll be able to ask me all kinds of questions. You can bring your personal questions and answers for you to solve them. And if I were to charge you, it'd be $45,000. People write me checks like this all the time. It's free for the first 10 people who decide that this is something you cannot pass up. You'll kick yourself if you miss this. And I'm going to give you a 100% success guarantee. You watch all the videos. You be on all of my live sessions. So I know you're serious about this. And if you haven't earned 20 times your investment within a year, I'll offer you a full refund. The reason I can say this so strongly is because I've done this thousands of times. I've received so many success stories. What I haven't had success stories with is this program. And I want your success program. But the bonuses disappear when this webinar is over. You can never, ever get them back again. Why do I say that? Why am I so adamant about that? Because I know what I had to do. When I first decided I wanted to make some money in real estate, I got in my car and I let my buddies drive with me from Utah to Miami in my little Volkswagen. And they paid the gas. And I went to a real estate seminar. I was willing to do whatever it took. I made some mistakes. I lost some money. I've been to seminars. I spend $1 million on my own training, on my own mentoring. I hired somebody to teach me to do a speech just a week ago, $25,000 for just a few hours of his time to coach me on a speech that I'm giving in Tokyo in 4 days. I know what it takes to invest for the best. So I know what it costs me to get there. I play with winners who are willing to invest a little. I don't like whiners. If you're a winner, you're going to act. These winners act. And whiners don't. Whiners just wait. So if you want to claim your spot and you're one of those first 10 people, you need to click the button below or go immediately to this website. It's RGA, those are my initials, www.robertgrantallen, RGAwealthlegends.com/go. You go there right now, be one of the first 10 so that I can personally mentor you. I'm going to give you something that will transform your life. We're going to cover things in those live sessions that will transform who you are. Here is Dexter and Natalie. They came to that event in Kuala Lumpur. He said, "Dear Bob, thank you so much for making us Malaysian property millionaires in 1 year." And they wrote their book called Start From Zero, 3 years to a 10 million ringgit property portfolio. And they're making money coaching other people doing the same thing. Got this from Josh just a short time ago. Josh says, "I listened to Nothing Down. I'm 36 years old now and I own 23 houses. You're the man." Josh. This gal came up to me at a speech I was giving in South Africa. Sir Richard Branson and I were on the platform. She came up to me behind the stage and she said, "I came here to hear you. I wanted to tell you, I got a copy of your book, Nothing Down. It was a photocopy in Nigeria. And I was desperate. And I read your book. It changed my life. And I became financially successful, financially free. And now I'm teaching women all over Africa how they can do the same thing I did. They can start with nothing and use the Nothing Down techniques." This is an email I got from Jack. Jack says, "I'm happy to report that I was able to quit my job and now I have a successful real estate flipping business. I've flipped over 3,000 deals." This is my student. "And a 7-figure online and offline education business as well." Because he's not only doing one stream of income, he's doing multiple streams of income. businesses and information marketing and forever cash flow, he calls it, with lots of streams of income. I'm financially secure and independent forever. Thanks a million. I want you to have a story like that and email me, and I'll give you my email address. You can email. This is Nick Kemi from UK. She says, I hope you're doing well and enjoying a fabulous spring. I wanted to send you a note to thank you personally for your role in transforming my life. I came across multiple streams of income and no money down a few years ago when I was homeless, living in my office. Within a year of reading your work, I had a multi-million-dollar portfolio and was providing great quality homes to families. I've gone on to build companies and completely transform my life. My mission is now to help thousands, if not millions of others to do the same. She has her own trainings, her own books. She said, if I can ever be of help to you, please let me know. This is an email from Eddie, and this is a crazy email. He says, I got a great idea for multiple streams of income, and I'm now making a nice income of about $5,000 a month from the one idea you shared with me. This is probably the most amazing email I've ever received. Tim, and he says, Mr. Robert Allen, I want to thank you and your organization for the training that I received from you and your team. My dad was executed on death row for killing 6 people in a steakhouse on Christmas Eve and a lot of other stuff. And after 14, I guess he was living in 14 homes after that. And 15 years later, his dad was executed on national TV. And in 1996, my mother is still there. I've been able to change the life of my kids and the rest of my family. My partners and I flip 100 houses a year. And I've been doing that for the last 4 years since coming to your 6 boot camps. There's not a lot of people in the world I look up to besides God. You, my friend, are an inspiration to me and mine. I hope this letter finds you well and your family as well. I have finally made my first 2 info products, and I'm giving back to people like you and your team did for us, your humble student, Tim. I don't know what your story is, but somehow or other it's going to be in a story like this. You're going to click on that link I told you earlier, and you're going to go and enroll so I can help you create a story like this. This one came to me just a few weeks ago from Jess Rodinas in Cebu, Philippines. I read your book and I implement the techniques of nothing down here in our place in the Philippines. I hit the jackpot. I acquired 15 hectares of ground and 16 acres of land with nothing down. We subdivided the land and I sold it fast. After we got the money from buyers, we slowly pay the owner of those lands. I have had 40 business failures in my entire married life of almost 40 years of marriage. If not because of your nothing down techniques, I would not rise up again. If not because of your nothing down techniques, I would not become a multimillionaire in a very short period of time. Because of your nothing down techniques, I help a lot of people, church and organizations, charitable works. Thank you. God bless and more power. Best regards, Jess. Now, we did a challenge a few years ago where we asked people to send us their success stories, and 3,666 people sent us their success stories. They had made a profit of $1,200,000,000, and their average profit of those 3,000 people was $366,000. I want you to do that. We had hundreds of millionaires, 273 of them, as a matter of fact. And the average of them made $2,800,000. And they made it in real estate, $800 million in real estate, $43 million in infopreneuring, $26 million in real estate, $33 million on the internet, $31 million in network marketing, and $197 million in business. These are real success stories. These are people who really, really made it happen. Now, we more than likely, once this call is over, some of you will go and we'll never talk again. A few of you have already acted. Congratulations. Take your right hand, lift it over your left shoulder, and pat yourself on the back. You're an actor. You're a doer. And you and I are going to coach together. You're going to talk to me live. But before you go, let me tell you one final story. The story that just says it all for me is a story of a woman back in the early 1900s. 1800s. She wanted to come to America. She wanted to get on one of those big ocean liners. Back then, it took like 10 days to make it across the ocean to get to New York City and to see that statue in the harbor of New York. And she saved up her money and she bought a ticket on a beautiful cruise liner or ocean liner. She knew she couldn't afford all the fancy meals, so she put aside cheese and crackers and apples and fruit to be able to make it all the way across. And she'd walk by and look at the people eating in those beautiful restaurants, dressed up nice. And she'd see the maitre d' there, and she said, oh, well, one of these days. And she'd saved up enough money so she could have a meal, the final meal of the trip. She went to the maitre d' on the final day, and she said, Monsieur, how much would it cost for me to have a meal here with these fine people? And he said, Madame, the meals on the ship are all free. You can eat anything you want, as much as you want. Did you not know? Now, I don't want you to get to the end of your life and you realize you could have had anything you wanted, starting with exactly what you have right now. You could live the life of your dreams. You could have had anything, but you just didn't know the rules. I'm going to teach you the rules, my friend. I'm going to teach you what to do and what not to do. Because when you get on the banquet, in front of the banquet I want to show you, you're going to eat what you want, when you want. You're not going to eat the crumbs off the table like ordinary people do. You're going to eat the banquet. Because I want to show you how to do that. And how I'm going to do that is to tell you to do, this is your final chance. Once this is over, these bonuses will no longer be offered to any of you. You're going to go to rgawealthlegends.com/go. You're going to click on this button now. And when you go there, I want you to feel like you won the lottery, because you're never going to have to worry about buying a lottery ticket again. You're going to earn it. You're going to earn it honestly, and you're going to earn it definitely. You're going to earn it certainly. It's going to happen. Go to www.rgawealthlegends.com/go or click on that link, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, my friends. Good luck to you. God bless, and goodbye.